According to recent surveys, dating has become much harder, with Gen Z struggling the most. Those are teenagers to 29 years old. As they say, desperate times call for desperate measures. A new trend called Date My Mate has people making a PowerPoint presentation in bars, hoping someone will date their friend.
Katie's looking for a man, not a boy, not a guy, a man. There we go. She is straight, looking for a monogamous relationship, which in Salt Lake seems like a minority position at this point.
Going to Costco with her is a joy, and she has a Costco membership.
And they have a Costco membership. All right. Meanwhile, dating apps have created an illusion of endless options that often lead nowhere. Instead of just tech and trends, our next guest relies on the principles of good matchmaking. She's personally matched hundreds of couples with a 1% divorce rate. April Beyer is the CEO and founder of Level Connections. Good morning.
Good morning, Deborah.
We were joking in the green room. I said, you are the one who was always stuck in the corner at the punch bowl at any cocktail party when people find out what you do.
Always. Weddings, funerals, always.
Yeah. All right. Tech dating, when it first came out, people thought, oh, this is the answer to it all, because it opens up the world to you, not just, somebody that your mother said, I met a nice young girl at the grocery store. This is like, you've opened up the world, but yet we have so many issues.
Yes, because it's made everybody very one-dimensional in their search. So if all you're looking at is an image and there's limited real estate with what you can write about yourself, the brain is being trained to make a fast decision on someone.
Yeah.
So that meeting in the bar or at that party, that's kind of gone away for a while.
And then of course that limited real estate, and is someone telling you the truth about themselves?
Most people are not.
Yeah.
Not that they're trying to lie, it's just that a lot of people are very aspirational, or they believe that the space that is provided on that app is for entertainment purposes. It's to make you laugh, right? It's to get your attention, but it's not necessarily the truth of who they are.
Yeah, and then looking through so many of these things, I was telling you, I was going through it with my son and his friends, and they're like, this is crazy. It's like the unrealistic demands. What they're seeing on there is things like that. Literally, they'll get a match and someone says, not gonna lie, I just want you to pay for my drugs.
Ugh.
Or not gonna lie, if you're not putting me in a G-Wagon, he goes, I'm only 22 and I'm still in school, I just want to get a PhD, but please help me out here.
Yeah,
but
what's going on?
Yeah, what's going on between, especially, I think that when I said Gen Z's, I say the hardest, but the hardest is for whoever's dealing with it at any moment, right? But that whole idea of the relationship is going to be based on what you can do for me, period, in terms of material things.
It is, but I think that's just a sort of set of it. There's a lot of people that are still online or in real life that are actually looking for the better things, the deeper things for a relationship.
You studied theater and character study early on, which is a great foundation for this.
I did. You wouldn't think that those two are connected, but doing script analysis and character study, I had to dive into the why. What makes someone get up out of bed in the morning? What motivates them to smile? What's their trigger point? All of those things I actually use when I'm interviewing and matching people.
Yeah. When you came across matchmaking, it's probably something that you had an innate thing that you could do because you understood people, but you worked for a friend's company. And what made you think, you know what, this is really, I can go deeper into this?
I was working with that company for about 6 years, and I was putting together relationships and marriages, and I was helping people post-divorce and getting them ready for their dates, and I absolutely fell in love because it felt like a puzzle that I was solving on a day-to-day basis. And you get that feeling, that satisfaction feeling, when two people call you the next day and say, wow, I felt like I was 15 again. That person really lit me up last night. Or I would not have met them on my own because we lived in opposite sides of the city. That's really gratifying. So you get a little addicted and hooked in.
And speaking of how you met your husband, you were with friends at a small party, and you had actually been in the same room a year before. But
Numerous times.
Yeah, but you were both dating somebody else at the time, right?
Yes, and there's a lot of people that if you're in a relationship, you're not necessarily looking around.
Yeah.
So he was in the same room, never saw each other until that night that we just happened to be single. I knocked on the door, he opened the door, and that was it.
Wow. Hadn't been separated since. Yeah.
No.
How many years married?
Almost 20 years.
Wow. Okay. And there's a lesson, a little nugget of a lesson in there too, is that you were in a room that would be a room that you would have a common interest in. And so like if you're in a place, let's say if you're on the pickleball court, then somebody likes pickleball, right? If you're but you were in a room of, it seemed like-minded people, like-minded friends, and that's kind of a good atmosphere to always think about if you're trying to go out and date, to be in those spaces.
Yes, because it's a feeling of comfort. And when you're in a place of familiarity or comfort, you're going to be more relaxed, you're going to be more at ease. So instead of just going out to a bar or a place you've never been, Go to something that is something that lights you up, something you're already comfortable doing.
Yeah, I have a friend who was hanging out at a bar. I go, you don't drink? That's why you think all these people are silly right now.
Yeah.
And she's like,
Go to
oh,
the
that's a
bar."
good idea. Yeah, go to the ice cream shop, go to the ice cream parlor. All right, about Level Connections, modern platform for connecting serious singles. So let's start right there. Serious singles, as you mentioned, there are a lot of people out there who are looking for a serious and valuable relationship. But what makes you a little different?
So Level is actually a platform I created to bring singles and professional matchmakers globally together. So we have matchmakers all over the US and beyond that are sourcing from one unified network. And the reason why we say serious singles is because when you go through our Q&A, it's been likened to the Myers-Briggs for the heart. So it's not a profile you fill out, it's actually a series of questions that I created that are, it's called the emotional value traits. And it's really just to kind of get to the core of what you value most in the areas education or learning or faith or politics, whatever that is. And then we have everybody kind of go through a private, self-guided teleprompter style video interview. It's 5 minutes. So for me, the people that make it all the way through are intentional and they're serious about finding someone.
Yeah, and this is a science.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
How to know you're ready to commit? Because you know, one of the things that you say is so important is for you to be honest with yourself and know what it is that you're really looking for versus what other people are saying that you need to be looking for. Because as you know, anyone who's single past 18 pretty much, someone's like, well, have you met someone? What's going on here? Have you met? Sometimes people don't want to be in a committed relationship yet, right? There's a value to just dating to figure out what you want. But how do you know that you're ready to settle down?
You're ready to settle down when you're neutral. You're no longer angry about the past. You have something to add to a relationship. You have the time to devote to creating something with someone, and you know yourself incredibly well. So you know your edges, or you've explored all of that. But a lot of people say they're not ready because they don't trust their picker, because they've trusted themselves in the past, it didn't work out. So it's no, I'm not ready.
Yeah.
But the right person walking into your life can actually make you ready.
And that's the great part about having a matchmaker who's kind of that third party who can look at it and say, you don't feel like you're ready to pick, but give this person a chance. And when we say give a chance, sometimes people will automatically shut down for insecurity reasons and say, no, that's not my person. You say, give at least 3 dates just to open it up and realize that some of those things you were afraid of, you don't need to be afraid of. Explore it instead.
Yeah, and I think that's the nice part about having a matchmaker. So there's someone there holding your hand, pre-date, post-date. The 3-date rule is so good because I've often seen people get together. They said no on the first date. I pushed them to go out on a second date, and then we get that long email the next day. Thank you so much for the push. I'm really inspired by this person. I'm emotionally, physically attracted. I'm connected to this person. There's so much in common here.
Yeah.
So I think
because
3 dates
usually
is
on the
just-
first date, both parties could be nervous, and you know you
Yeah.
can be a little bit, you know, you're not really very open, right? You're being careful and guarded at what answers you'll give and the whole bit. So just let somebody relax, and you'll see more of who they really are.
Yes.
All right. We have a number of people who had some questions for you. Okay. So question number 1 from Mason: I have terrible anxiety when it comes to cold approaching. 3 times now, I've been told that a young lady was disappointed that I did not approach despite her showing signs of interest. One even sent me a drink. They assumed I was not interested, but I just have a big fear of being rejected. How do I overcome this?
The best way to overcome rejection is to understand that your approach is just kindness. So if you're thinking about the end result, you're outcome driven. I'm going to walk over to this person, I'm going to approach, hope that they like me, and I hope that they're not going to reject me. You're off on the wrong track. If you're just saying hello, like, hi, I just wanted to tell you that dress is so beautiful, or I saw you smile earlier, that's just an act of kindness, and that act of kindness cannot be rejected. So go in not trying to get a date. Go in just to say hello and connect with another human being.
That's such a great point, because so many times people want to get to the end of something when you haven't even started, right?
There's no rejection there. I'm just saying hello to you.
But you know how many times women have been guilty of this? I'm going to say women. Okay, I know some women out there are going to be really mad at me for saying this, but I'll say my friends. How about that? They'll go out on the first date, and after the first date, they have already put that gentleman's last name with their name to see if it goes together. and they're naming the kids. It's like, stop, hold on for a minute, right?
Yes, they're
right.
dating that person into the future instead of being right there where they are.
Yeah, they've already written a script for them. They don't know what the script is. All right, Trina says, I remember having to go to dances in middle school where boys and girls were forced to talk to each other. I think it helped with dating in high school and beyond. My tween is appalled that I am making her go to these events, but I think it would help, especially today. Am I wrong to make her go?
Not wrong. I think it's the approach. Making someone go into this environment, and the tweens, they don't know what they're doing right now in this, right? But she does need some social skills. This age range is really missing out. We had COVID. They missed out on going to school with their friends.
Yeah.
So I think it's a matter of, if you're going to push her to go on these events, make sure you're talking with her before and after.
Give her the reason why.
Give her reason to be there instead of you have to be there.
Because if you look at what over the centuries, that they had dances for a reason. It's not just for entertainment. And you'd always have the young lady filling out her dance card, right? And it's like, just want you to meet this one over here. And the guy would go up and ask, will you do waltz number 3 with me? And there was a reason for that.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Taylor says, is it wrong to ask someone's intentions on a first date, as in, are you dating to find a committed relationship or just to have fun?
Not wrong. It's just that you're going to get a false positive answer. So if you ask me if I'm ready for a relationship, I don't know you yet. I don't know who you are. I don't know what this would inspire in me. You're either going to get me saying yes, of course, which is aspirational, or you might hear no, and then you might discount that person. But what we've seen over and over is maybe that person didn't think that they were looking for something committed, and then they met that person, and everything was there for them, and they found themselves committing. So it's just not a good question to ask, and you're not going to get the right answer anyway.
And let me round out with how your platform is set up. So it's not just one matchmaker in one location, one city. You have the ability to reach out to matchmakers all over the country.
All over. We've all been collaborating as an industry forever, especially in the last, say, 5-7 years. We've just created a platform where we all meet together. The matchmakers are united. Think about it like almost like an MLS for matchmakers, but we're bringing singles into the network as well.
Wow, and you're getting ready to head off to a big convention soon?
Yes, there's a huge Love Pro industry conference in New York City every year, and it grows. It exponentially grows every year. There's probably going to be about 350 matchmakers, love coaches, coming into New York City the first week of May.
All right, gonna have to get you back. We're gonna have to do a whole hour on this because this is something that so many people are just talking about, and we'll get some singles up here to ask you some questions and look for some guidance and look at the value of matchmaking.
Yeah,
all right,
great.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Deborah.
All right, to learn more about Level Connections and how you can find your perfect match, visit greatdayhouston.com and we will connect you.